All right, good morning, everybody. I have a very handsome friend here with me today, as you can see. This is Tofka. Tofka is a milky eagle owl. Milky eagle owls are the largest species of owl found in Africa, so maybe one that you're not as familiar with. Very handsome African owl. Now, Tofka's part of our bird show animal ambassador team here at Tracy Aviary, and as part of that we bring him out like this to meet and greet people as well as fly in our shows. And of course the instant topic of conversation whenever anybody meets Tofka is his beautiful eyes. Now, oftentimes we've had people say, wow, look at his eyes, they're jet black. Of course, they're actually not. I don't know if the sun's hitting his eyes at all here so that you can see in the video, but he has an iris and a pupil just like all owls, and his iris is dark brown, so in the right kind of lighting you can't really see it, but he's definitely our brown-eyed handsome man here. Owls' eyes come in 3 colors dependent on the species, and that is brown, like Tofka, or yellow, or orange. Now, of course, once you've got past the size of his eyes, and his eyes are huge, his other most noticeable feature are those very gorgeous droopy pink eyelids that he has, and that is sort of the calling card of a milky eagle owl. I've never seen any other species of owl that has eyelids like this. All owls have eyelids, but most of them aren't sort of permanently at half mast like Tofka's are here, and hide a little bit in the feathers. Now, we've been asked so many times why Tofka or milky eagle owls have those droopy pink eyelids that we did quite a bit of research to be able to answer this question for people, and unfortunately I cannot answer that question. There's no information out there as to why they look the way they do. One thing I can tell you though is that there's always a reason for everything in nature. Whether or not we figured it out or not, there's a good reason for pretty much everything. And we always say, you know, those droopy eyelids make Tofka look a little bit like a Muppet, so maybe that's the reason, just to make him extra cute. Now, one of the things, or a couple of things that I can tell you about owls' eyes, never mind the way they look, which is beautiful, but how they function. Of course, owls, or most species, there's about 220 different species of owls, and the vast majority of them are nocturnal, which means they're active at night, which often leads to 2 questions when we have Tofka out with us, because of course I am not nocturnal and Tracy Aviary is not open in the middle of the night. So we are out with him in the day, and people infrequently ask why he's awake in the daytime and if the light hurts his eyes. So to answer the first question of why he's awake in the daytime, it's just a little shift on our definition of nocturnal. So nocturnal actually means that animals are active at night. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're asleep all day. In fact, humans like you and I are really the only animals that sleep in a great big chunk like that. Most animals nap on and off. So it's quite normal for an owl to be awake in the daytime, but they're going to do their hunting at night. And as for whether the light hurts his eyes or not, absolutely not, no. So in the daytime, he sees about the same as we do, and that's because their eyes are different than ours, pretty specialized. So owls have got many more rods, which is the light receptive sensors at the back of their eyes that help distinguish light and dark, and a lot fewer cones, which are the receptors that distinguish color, than we do. So they see very well in low light. They have very high contrast vision. That's what helps them see at night. So you'd think maybe during the daytime that would make the light too bright for them, but they also have very specialized pupils. So their pupils contract and dilate much more than ours do. And in the daytime, they're going to be very contracted, just letting in enough light for him to be able to see. At nighttime, dilated very wide to let maximum light in. So in the day, Tofka here and all owls see pretty similar to the way we do, just not in color. And one last little thing about owls' eyes, or owls in general, that we get asked about, hi, beautiful eyes, that's a very nice look, is about them turning their heads all the way around, which of course they cannot do. I mean, if they turned their head all the way around, eventually it would twist right off. But they can turn their head 270 degrees in both directions and very quickly. The reason that they do that has to do with their eyes. So owls' eyes are so large in their head and also a different shape than ours that they can't move them. Our eyes are round. We often refer to them as eyeballs, so we can roll our eyes just like a ball. But owls' eyes are elongated or more tube-shaped, meaning that they can't roll them like we do. They can't move them at all. So when they want to look around, they have to move their whole head. And in order to do that, they have a very special neck, twice as many vertebrae as we do, and a special spinal column altogether. So they're the vertebrae, the individual ones, their spinal column, even the blood vessels that go up to their brain function differently than ours do, which is why they can whip their head backwards and forwards, not get whiplash like we would, and certainly not cut off the blood supply to their brain. So very specialized eyes, very specialized creatures. Not only are they beautiful, but perfectly designed for their creature of the night habits. Tofka, a milky eagle owl. Oh, and we're actually open now at Tracy Aviary, and one of the biggest thrills in our show is having this big dude fly right over your head and experiencing the silent flight of owls. He's got a 5-foot wingspan. So come on down here. He's flying in our shows every day. Get a good look deep into those beautiful eyes, and we'll see you next time.